Hello, my name is Millicent Price, and I will be um, completing my um, policy presentation on the impact of recent U.S. court decisions on voting rights and voter access. This presentation examines how recent Supreme Court decisions have affected voting rights and voter access in the United States. I will summarize my policy analysis, present recommendations, discuss advocacy strategies, and explain the important role social workers play in advancing equitable access to voting. In this slide, I am basically discussing policy, the policy overview, and the Civil Rights Act, as we all know, was created to eliminate racial discrimination in voting. Um, Recent Supreme Court decisions have changed how the act is enforced by increasing state authority over elections while limiting some federal oversight. Nature of the problem. The major policy issue that many voters see is balancing election security with equal access to voting. Research shows some voting restrictions may disproportionately affect racial minorities, older adults, rural voters, individuals with disabilities, and low income communities. Political analysis. Basically, in this slide, I am presenting supporters argue that about election integrity, um, state authority, prevention of voter fraud. Now, opponents argue that that they have an issue with reduced voter access, increased discrimination, and weakened federal protections. Now, the stakeholders have an issue basically with the stakeholders basically are Congress, state legislatures, election officials, civil rights organizations, voters, and courts. Now, in this particular slide, I am discussing recommendation number one. Um, Now, recommendation number one basically discuss strengthening federal voting rights protections. It says Congress should update the Voting Rights Act by creating a new coverage formula that reflects current voting conditions and protects communities from discriminatory election practices. Why? This could restore stronger federal oversight where discrimination continues to exist. Okay, recommendation number two, expand voter access. States should expand early voting, increase absentee voting opportunities, improve voter registration, and lastly, increase accessible polling locations. And you may say, why? Okay, these efforts help remove barriers for working adults, elderly citizens, people with disabilities, and rural residents. Recommendation number three, increase voter education. Governments and community organizations should invest in public education campaigns explaining registration requirements, voter ID laws, election dates, and lastly, voting options. Why? Many eligible voters fail to vote because they lack accurate information rather than motivation. Advocacy strategy number one. And this slide basically discuss legislative advocacy. Social workers can meet with legislators. They can testify during legislative hearings. Social workers can support voting rights legislation. And also social workers can advocate for equitable election policies. Okay. Advocacy strategy number two. Community education. Social workers can organize voter education workshops. They can have registration drives. Social workers can organize community forums. And lastly, social workers can organize civic engagement programs. And this can help increase participation among underserved communities. Okay, advocacy strategy number three. Coalition building. Social workers can partner with community organizations, faith-based organizations, schools, civil rights organizations, and lastly, nonprofit agencies. Working together creates stronger advocacy efforts. Roles of social workers. Um, According to the National Association of Social Workers Code of Ethics, social workers promote social justice. They promote human rights, equal opportunity, community improvement, civic participation, policy advocacy. Social workers advocate for policies that reduce barriers and promote equitable participation in democracy. Conclusion. Recent Supreme Court decisions continue to shape voting rights across the nation. Balancing election security with equal voter access remain one of today's most significant public policy challenges. Social workers have an ethical responsibility to advocate for fair policies that promote participation, equity, and social justice. This concludes my presentation. I also have on this particular slide, I have list of my references who I used when I was uh, researching my information that was listed on my presentation. I hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you.